Good afternoon, recruiters at your computers, and welcome to reed.co.uk's Hire for Lower. The aim of this session is to help you guys get the most from reed.co.uk by giving a spotlight to some small features that added up make a big difference in hiring quickly and effectively. My name is Peter Tomlin and I'm joined by Tony O'Hara, and we're both sales managers here at reed.co.uk. So some housekeeping just to kick off. To ensure you get the best possible webinar experience, you may want to consider closing any other programs or tabs with high levels of activity. Please use the chat function throughout the webinar. You'll find it on the webinar control panel to ask us a question. We have a member of our customer experience team, Jane, with us, and she's going to be able to answer as many of your queries as she possibly can throughout this webinar. If we're not able to cover everything during the 30 minutes, we'll of course make every effort to respond as soon as we possibly can. You can contact us directly today by calling us on 0845 241 9293, or of course by visiting reed.co.uk/recruiter/contact us. So what we're going to cover today, we're going to be taking you through the good ad writing guide and showing you how some small tips around this can increase your applications. We're then going to be showing you some time-saving searches, which will help you get to the best talent as quickly as possible. And everything you need to know about application management will be the last part of the webinar today. So first of all, I'm going to take you through some of our job seeker activity stats, which some of them you may find surprising. So Monday is our busiest day. Now, actually, what is commonly thought is that Thursday or Friday is our busiest day, and a lot of our recruiters want to get their jobs up and running on those days, but actually Monday is the busiest day and always has been here at reeds.co.uk. So here at reed.co.uk, we receive the highest volume of visits and applications between 11 AM to 12 PM. Again, this is often a surprise when we let recruiters know this. This is a good time for you guys to be working and looking for applicants around these times. Again, we have, it's an ever-changing landscape in recruitment, and we've got a lot of candidates using a lot of different devices to access the website and to look at those jobs. Mobile users will use us between 9 and 10 AM predominantly. Desktop users tend to be closer to lunchtime, and that's from 11 AM to 12 PM. And tablet users far later in the evening and after work. They will use us predominantly from 8 PM until 9 PM. On Saturday, half of our visits come via mobile devices. This is obviously one of the reasons why we're now responsive on mobile devices, and we're really leading the way to make sure that we're on top of our game when it comes to mobiles. So now I'm going to pass you over to Tony O'Hara, who's going to take you through the good ad writing guide.
Good afternoon, everybody. So in this section, we're going to go through the good ad writing guide. So we've got an advert here. This is a typical advert that you might see on the site. And basically what we're going to do now is we're going to go through and just talk about the advert, talk about how we feel we can change the advert and amend it to make it much more appealing to the audience. So taking a look at this advert, the information that's on there, there's a fair bit of information on there. You can tell from reading it what they're looking for, where they're looking for, and some of the skills that needed to be had. One of the things that we need to look at in this advert is the hook. So if you think about your advert, it will appear in the search engines along with a lot of other adverts, and you get about 4 lines to put something in there that's going to attract the candidates to your role. So with something that we've got in here at the moment, with the minimum of 5 years experience, candidates are going to look on that. A lot of adverts may start like that, and there's nothing in there that's really going to grab their attention. So you can see here, we've added some leading questions, something that's going to engage the candidate, and as they're reading it, it's going to stand out from a lot of the other adverts and make them click into this advert. Next thing that we've done here is that we've put the role into sections. Now, a lot of recruiters will make the mistake of trying to put too much in an advert or having great big blocks of text in an advert. Now, if you're a job seeker and you're looking at maybe 10, 15, 20 adverts in a session, that can get too much. What they like to do, job seekers will like to come in and look at an advert and pretty much see the bits that they want to. So you can see here we've added a header. So you've maybe put about the role, about the company, package and benefits as headers, so that as a job seeker, I can come in quickly and find out the bits that I need to and decide whether this advert is interested. One of the things to bear in mind, again, with these, is this is an advert that you're writing to get candidates' interest for the role. recruiters often make the mistake of trying to tell people too much about the role, and it just puts candidates off. If they see a big block of text, they're just not going to read it. Our research shows that the most effective job advert consists of up to 300 words. Anything longer than that, and it's going to start to be disengaging. So looking at the title here, so the title we've got here is web developer. Now, again, in keyword purposes, this is an okay job title. People will be able to find this, but if I'm searching for 10, 20, 30 pages through of web developer jobs, there's nothing in here to grab my attention. So you can see here, we've made it more specific. We've mentioned the fact that it's a team leader role. We've put a location in there, and we've also included a salary as well. Now, the location, this is a contentious issue with a lot of recruiters about what to put in terms of a location. For some reason, people don't like to put in a specific location as to where the role's based. But think about this from a candidate perspective. Where in the Southeast England is this role? If I'm interested in it, odds are, this doesn't give me an opportunity to ask a question about it before sending my CV. So I might not want to send my CV across because I might not know where it is. So again, I'm not going to apply for it. So by changing this to a location that people are going to know and understand if it's commutable for them, you're going to make sure that you pick up high quality applications and also sift out those irrelevant ones that may be too far. So again, our research shows that adverts that contain locations receive 5 times as many. So it's really important to put in a nice, concise location. Salary is another contentious issue. Now, I understand for a lot of reasons that recruiters don't like to put in salaries on jobs. Now, we would always recommend that you put a salary into the role. What you can do with reed.co.uk is you can hide that salary. So on the job screen, when you add a job, there'll be an option under there to hide the salary. Now, the reason that we ask you to put it in and hide it is that if you think about it from a candidate perspective, we send candidates emails with job matches and relevant jobs to them. They specify to us the salary in which they want to work for. Now, if we don't know the salary of the role that you're looking for, how do we know the right people to send it to? So if you put your salary details in there and hide it, we'll make sure that the right people see your job, but at the same time, we'll make sure that they don't see the salary until they've had a conversation, until you've spoken to them and revealed that. So as I say, we would always recommend to put a salary in if you can, and put in a nice range in there to make sure that you can pick up all of the candidates. And our research shows that 20% more applications when a fixed salary is stated. So you can see here, we'll go back to the advert that we posted previously, and we'll have a look at the advert now. So you can see it's made a big difference. Immediately looking at that from a candidate's point of view, they're going to be more engaged in it. They understand more about the role, and that's going to lead to not only more applications, but more quality applications for you guys as well. So to summarize, the hook's important. As I say, you've got 4 lines. Really think about what you're going to put in there to attract that candidate. Leading questions are always good. Setting the scene, so talking about the company and the role, and using clear headings so that people can jump to the bits that are relevant to them. Using language specifically to target clients. And again, it's all about being specific in that role. That candidate really wants to feel like this is the one job that they want to apply for, and not, an advert posted just to kind of gain applications.
Okay, thanks for that, Tony. So we've had a question in from Michelle. She has asked, what hook phrases should I use when posting vacancies and also when contacting candidates? What I would say, Michelle, is I'd refer back to making sure using leading questions. That's a very strong way of opening a job posting. However, what I would recommend is phoning your account manager here at reed.co.uk and having a discussion with them, because with every sector and with every type of role, different hook lines will work differently. So I can't give you one flat answer that will answer every single question for every single sector. So I'd recommend you either get in touch with us here and talk to the account manager, or discuss it amongst your colleagues. They may well have some ideas as well. So thanks very much for that, Michelle. I will now hand you back over to Tony, who's going to take you through some time-saving searches tips.
Okay, thanks, Peter. So in this section, we're going to look at time-saving searches. So we're going to talk about the benefits of using a CV search and how to get the most out of it. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about actions and lists as well. So Boolean search. Now, Boolean search is the way, the algorithm in which our search engine works. A lot of you hopefully should be familiar with this. Essentially, it's a keyword search. So it's putting in the words and the phrases that you want to appear in the CV. For those of you not too comfortable with Boolean search, there's an article on news.reed.co.uk, or if you speak to your account manager, they can help you build a search string. I'm not going to go into too much detail about how that works in this session. Now, from this page. This is obviously where you would start to put your Boolean search. If you're not too comfortable with that, or you want to add some other bits and pieces in as well, we've got the option to have the advanced search, which is located just on the right hand side of the page. So if you click that, it will take you through to a new screen where it will ask you to really build this search. Now you can put things in like salaries, sectors, the type of work that candidates are looking for. You can look at people who have signed in or recently registered. Now I would always recommend people that have signed in rather than those that have registered, because you may get somebody who registered a month ago and has done nothing else on the site since. Or similarly, you might get somebody who's registered 5 years ago who has logged in yesterday because they're now looking for another job. So I would always recommend keeping it to signed in. The date range, you can go up to 12 months. It's worth noting that on reed.co.uk, all CVs are no older than 12 months. Qualifications, so if you want people with particular degrees from particular universities, you can specify that in this section. Similarly with languages, you can put in languages and the level that they need to speak. And at the bottom there, you've got the section. It will always default to search the reed.co.uk database as a whole, but we'll talk about this in a bit more detail later. But if you've got lists of your candidate lists that you've previously saved, or if you want to search through your candidates, so people that have applied for your jobs or CVs that you've downloaded previously, then there's an option here to do that as well. So ordering the search results. So this, once you've run your search, this is the result that you'll get back. And you'll see here on the right-hand side how these results are ordered. Now we will default to relevancy, so this will be based on keywords, and where and how the keywords appear on the site will depend on the most relevant candidates that come up. Should you wish to change that, you've got the ability to search by when they last registered, signed in, or specifically more if you want to look into their salaries, you've got the ability to do that as well. Now, a new section that we've recently added to reed.co.uk is the new profile page. So before, if you wanted to get candidates' information, you'd have to click on their name and you'd be taken into a new page. What you can do now is within the search results, you can click on the preview profile tab, which is listed there. And what it will do is it will bring up their profile. It will show you where those words match in the CV, their skills, and give you a bit more information about the candidate's current activity on the site. So where they've applied to, their preferred work locations. So some more actions. Basically, to get to this screen, we found our candidate in the search and we've clicked on their name. Now you can see there's a tab here for more actions. So obviously below that, you can see the candidate CV. You can go through, you can have a look at that. If you want to kind of take another action with this candidate, the more action buttons enables you to add it to a list. So if you're doing a morning or an afternoon or a day of CV searching, you can start to add candidates and build short lists. You can email the CV to yourself for later, or you can add a note on there as well. So if there's a couple of you that are going to be CV searching over the course of the day, if you're worried that other people might see this candidate that you've already spoken to, or for whatever reason, you can add a note onto there as well. So this is an example of a candidate list. So you can see on the left-hand side, we've got all the lists that we've added. And on the right-hand side, you can see our list there. Now, the lists are stored in the Your Candidate section of the account. So if you look at the top there, you'll see all the different sections, and Your Candidates is where your lists will be saved. Once you've got your candidates in lists, you can see there that you can bulk select them, you can bulk email them to yourself, you can remove people from lists as you go through and start to whittle it down, or you can add them to other lists. It's worth noting that obviously our CV database comes with a download limit. Any candidates that are looked at in the Your Candidate section do not take up one of that limit. Now, CV searching can be quite time consuming, and if you're a recruiter that runs continuous searches, you might want to look at setting up some saved searches and also some alerts. So the way in which this works is once you've set up a search that you're happy with and the search string that you're happy with, you click on the Save This Search button here, and it will open up a screen there to name your search, and then the button underneath will add your CV search as an alert. So you can save up to 30 of these per license, of which 3 of those can be emailed to you. So you can choose to get these CVs. What will happen is at the beginning of every day, we'll send you an email saying X amount of CVs have been added in the last 24 hours with a link through to view those CVs. So a bit of advice around this particular search for recruitment consultant, I wouldn't recommend setting up as an alert, because obviously we get a lot of people that join the website every day, and you don't want to be getting an email telling you we've had 1,000 new candidates added to look through. So with your alerts, it's better to be as specific as possible to make sure that you're not wasting your time and those candidates that do get emailed through to you are the most relevant. So in summary, Boolean searching helps match candidates fast. It's a keyword function in how it works. Again, speak to your account manager or news.reed.co.uk for more information on that. Prioritizing your search results, you can do it by sign-in date, you can do it by relevancy. The more action sections allows you to take more control of that candidate and put them into places where other people or you might need them for later. The list is a great way to start whittling down candidates from your CV searching, and setting up the alerts is going to be really time saving for you guys in making sure that you don't have to continually run in and run the same searches over and over again.
Okay, thanks for that, Tony. So we've had another question that's come in during that time. How can I make best use of my CV search alerts? And that's from Simon. Thanks very much for your question, Simon. So as mentioned, Tony has covered some of this. So obviously, you can re-listen to this webinar. But also what I would recommend is you get 3 CV search alerts, differentiate those search alerts. You don't want to be getting 3 sets of emails with all similar candidates on. Make sure your filters are strong and specific, as Tony mentioned. And also, you don't have to get it exactly right the first time. You can obviously change these alerts and begin to filter out more and more, so you get better sets of candidate each time. If you need more than 3 CV search alerts, of course, you can buy more from us here at reed.co.uk. I would also recommend talking to your account manager again and talking it through with them, because they may well have some tips, particularly on your sectors or for certain roles from the experience that they've got from dealing with recruiters day to day. So thanks very much for that question, Simon. So again, I will hand you back over to Tony to talk through application management.
Okay, so this section we're going to look at the way to handle your applications that come in from your job postings. So we'll show you how to review your applicants an easy way to compare them, to look at your shortlist, and then how to get in touch with these candidates. So this page here will be a typical page on reed.co.uk once you've posted an advert. So you'll see here we've started to get our applications come through. Now, the way reed.co.uk allow you to filter your candidates is via a flag system. So you can see here that we've got 3 different ways: suitable, maybe, and unsuitable. So as you start to go through the list, you can flag them accordingly, and you can see on the left-hand side there, you can find those candidates easily based on how you've selected them. The good thing about this is no matter what section you put them in, there is the ability to email all of those candidates. So one of the big complaints from a job seeker point of view on reed.co.uk is that they don't hear back from a lot of jobs that they apply for. By doing this, by putting candidates in an unsuitable section, it's very easy for you to email them all a pre-saved template, and that goes a long way to promoting your company's brand and making sure that they feel that you care about the fact that they've applied for one of your roles. So reviewing candidate profiles. So this is back to the page that we looked at earlier. So whereas we'd normally have the CV that would load, there's also the option there to click on the profile. So this will give you things like their work history, their personal statement, and a lot of things that we saw in the profile section earlier. The good thing about this is that if you think about candidate CVs, and I'm sure you've all seen thousands and thousands of CVs, they're all very different, and a lot of the information is in different places, and it can be quite difficult to pick out information quickly. What we've tried to do is we've tried to make a standardized way for you guys to very quickly compare CVs and see who is relevant and who's not relevant. So again, looking at saved searches in candidates list, you can see on the left-hand side here, when we showed you the CV search option earlier, and I said that there was the ability to do that, when you're in a search, you can see on the left-hand side there, you've got searching the whole database, searching your lists, or searching your candidates. And again, anybody from your lists or your candidates won't be classed as one of your daily downloads. So once you found a candidate that you're interested in, you've obviously got the option to download their CV. However, you can also go through to add them to a list, which we showed you. If you no longer want to see that candidate, you've got the option to hide them from these particular searches, or you can send them a message. So if you want to send them a message, you'll get this screen that comes up. Now, you can add templates, so you can see here there's a free text box for you to go in and put your message. If this is the first time that you've done it and you want to save it as a template, you'll see there's a button underneath there that says Save as Template. So once you save that, you can go in and you can use the same email for those candidates. Allowing candidates to reply to this email. Now, it's important and worth remembering that this is applying to the email address that the CV database is attached to. So if that's not your email address, then what you need to do is make sure that you put where you want the response to go in the body of that advert. And again, you've also got the option there to send a copy to yourself should you want to keep track of who you've sent what to. So in summary, filtering and rating applications is going to help you guys shortlist people quickly, get back to people, whether they're candidates that you want to take forward or not. We try and make it as easy as possible for you to bulk email those candidates. Reviewing the profiles offers a standardized way to check through CVs and pick out those that might be relevant. Adding the notes to candidates so that if other people are running your CV searches, they can see. saving time with the message templates, so getting in touch with multiple people, saving those templates is going to be really helpful to make sure that you're using the site most effectively, and reviewing those saved lists is going to make it, again, a lot easier for your application management.
Thanks very much again, Tony. So we've had another question in. How do I manage candidates in a competitive market and avoid losing them? And that's from Olga. Thanks very much for that question, Olga. What I would suggest is, obviously you can review the app management thing that Tony's just taken you through there. But I would also say, think about the templates for the roles that you have. The more time that you spend on these templates should speed up your response process. One of the things that we found is that a lot of candidates begin to disengage from recruiters if they don't get a response at all. It might be that you find the quality candidate on the very first application that comes through. However, it's important that you respond to everybody, and you should use our tools and use our templates in order to help make it quicker for you to respond to these guys. Make sure you use a list and put a bit of time into ordering your candidates again, so that you can reply to them and understand where they're coming from, maybe for future roles that currently they're not appropriate for. So thanks for that question again, Olga. So just to wrap up, thank you very much everybody out there for joining us. If you're watching the recording, you can still contact us by calling 0845 241 9293. You can of course visit reed.co.uk/recruiter/contact us. Of course, you'll be able to review this webinar. It will be live and available on the website. So again, if you've missed anything, please review this. And thanks very much again, and goodbye from all here at reed.co.uk.